Hello friends, good evening to all of you and welcome to JTC India YouTube live classes. So how are you all? So today we have you can say that is yesterday what we were talking about is the methods we were talking about, fine. And today the topic what we are next going to discuss is the methods part 2. We will be discussing here methods itself, but that is part 2 of the methods topic as I am going to discuss in these cases here, right? So guys, today our timing has been changed and previously it was from 9 o'clock. Today we did it from the 8 o'clock, right? And 8 to 9 we are doing it. And you see here, from today we are going to have this Java class from 8 to 9 p.m. itself. Fine it is, and hope so all of you are fine with this. Fine, okay. So good evening to all of you. Kindly guys share it fastly with your all friends and all other so that we can start the class. And now in this we have the topic, and what topic we are starting today is we will discuss here the methods, that is part 2. I will be writing some examples also about the methods, and that is what we will be discussing today. Good evening. Okay, fine. So any one of you are having any questions, any doubts in this, you can please ask from the previous classes. If any kind of question, any doubt you have from the last classes, you are most welcome. You can ask that all questions if you have, in case any kind of doubt, any questions you are having. No questions? Okay, well. So now as such we are talking about the methods, and yesterday I was talking about the instance method as well as the static method. So what is the static method and what is the instance method? Let's have a look on these two things. So again I am repeating from here, and so let's have a look on the what exactly instance method is and what exactly static method is. Fine. So here whenever as I'll write here the class and some of the name of the class you have written, the name of the class what you have written is the hello you have written is the name of the class. Fine. Guys, today we have changed the timing of this class, so kindly updates in your groups wherever your friends are there and all other one, because everyone is expecting it is from the 9 o'clock. But yesterday itself I have announced that today onwards we are going to do this class from 8 o'clock, 8 to 9 we are doing it today. Fine. Okay, no issues. So here now I am writing that is the void of, let's say, M1 method if I am writing here. So this particular method we are calling it as an instance method. We are calling this method as an instance method, and at the same time now we are writing here one more thing, static void of M2 method we are writing, and this static void of M2 method whatever as such I am writing is also called as the static method. These two things you would have seen it, instance method as well as the static method in these cases. Fine now? Okay. So first thing is that instance method as well as the static methods can be only and only defined inside directly inside the class. We cannot define this instance method or the static method inside any local context. We cannot write that all things inside any local context. Anywhere else we cannot write this. Fine it is now? Now at the same time here, what is next we are going to do here? See, any method any method, whatever is available here, any methods, either it is an instance method or it is a static method. If we have any kind of method, so you must have to call this method. You must have to, what you have to do now? You have to call these methods in a different ways, in the different forms. If you are not calling all these methods, then this method will not be processed. Fine? These methods, whatever we have, will not be processed in that case. Fine? So, if you will call this method, then only these methods are going to be processed. If you are not calling these all methods, this method will not be processed at any point of time. Okay. Now here, see, as we have these two different types of members, are you getting, guys? All of you are getting here? Okay. So when we are writing something in this, so let's understand one more thing, that if it is your instance method, if it is your, what is that? Instance method we have. So this instance method of a class can be called by creating what? Object of a class. If you are creating the object of a class, then only this method can be called. If you are not creating the object of a class, without creation of object of a class, you cannot access this method, you cannot call this method outside the class. You cannot do this. You cannot call this method outside the, where? Outside this particular class. You cannot call that method at any point of time. Are you getting my point? So you cannot call this method at any point of time without, what is that? Without calling it. So let's say if you are writing hello h1 is equal to new hello, you have created one object of a class. What you have done? You have created one object of the class. What is that you have created now? One object you have created for that corresponding class. Fine. And now with this reference itself, like h1 dot m1 method, you can call it. You can call in this manner only. This is only the way to call the instance method. This is only the way to call the instance method. This is what we have, a technique to call the instance method. Other than this, we cannot call in any other manner. If you are trying to call the method, and that is to instance method outside that corresponding class, wherever, whatever we are having inside this. Is it okay? Now again, see, if it is a static method, so definitely we can call the static method in this form also. h1.m2 method also we can be called here. This instance static method also can be called with the reference variable which contains corresponding class object reference. We can definitely do this. Guys, are you people are getting all these things? Are you understanding it? Okay. So maybe due to the change of the timing and all, many of you are not able to watch it here at present. Anyways, so here a static method which is there. So static method, what all the different ways are there by using which we can call the static method? What all the different ways are there by using which we can call the static method? What all the different techniques are there by using which we can call the static method? Are you getting my point? Okay. So here, well, I am calling this static method. So in order to call the static method, we have the three different ways by using which you can call the static method. What is that three different ways, guys? See, first one, with the name of class, you can call hello.m2 method you can call. Fine. With the name of class, you can call the static method. With the name of class, you are able to call the static method. There won't be any problem in that case. Are you okay with this concept? With the name of method, with the name of class, you can call the, which one you can call? The static method you can call. You need not to create any object of a class. And keep it in mind also that when you are, all of you are getting, I hope so. Fine. So in order to call this static method, whenever you are trying to call any kind of static method, so you need not to do what you need not to do. You need not to create the object of a class. You can call that static method with just the name of the class. There is nothing else to do with that. Now the second point is, here I am writing hello h1 is equal to null you are writing, okay. So we can call the static method with the reference variable which contains null also. Well, I am calling this. So here I am calling h1 dot m2 method, I can call it, but remember at the same point h1 dot m1 method we cannot call it because this is an instance method. We cannot call it with the reference variable which contains null. Fine. And again the static method which is there in the third ways, it is a very simple one in which we can call this a static method, and that static one is by creating the object of a class. We are writing here, and h2 dot, what else I am going to call here now? Let's say I am calling m2 method. In this way also you can call the static method. This is also one way to call the static method, right? So there are, again you can say, three different techniques how you are going to call the static methods of a class. Fine, it is static method of a class. What I am saying, static method of a class in the following ways, in the following different forms, in the following different ways, these static methods are being called. Just remember this point here. These static methods can be called in the three different ways, whereas in the case of instance method, you can call only and only in this last way itself, which means that with the reference variable itself you can call. So like that also you can call this instance method. But you will see here that other than this particular way, other than this particular technique, we cannot call the instance method by using any other means in any other form. Correct? Is that okay for you? All of you are understanding? Guys, comment in the chat box if anyone is getting any question, any doubt in this. And hope so. Is it this timing is comfortable for you all? Yes. Is that this timing is comfortable for you all, friends? No or yes? At least you can reply yes or no, something you can say in the chat box, right? Okay. Now again inside this, let's have one example on the basis of these methods, instance method as well as the static method. We are just writing one example on behalf of all these sort of things, how you are going to write the instance method of a class, how you are going to write the static method of a class, and what is the behavior of the instance method as well as the static method, and what is the behavior of other members of a class with respect to instance as well as the static methods inside this, guys. Okay, so just switch to the screen. Okay, so hope you are able to look at this now, screen. Here I am writing. See, now I am writing one example for you. You need to understand this. See here now. I am writing one example on the basis of all that. See, first, is that one which I am writing is a class. The name of the class what I have written is the hello I have written. This is one name of the class I am writing, and the name of that particular class is the hello I have written here. Okay. Now the next one inside this, next one again inside this, what else I am trying to write here, what else I am trying to do here is, first I am declaring some variables int a int b is equal to, let's say 20, and static int c is equal to, well I am writing here 30. These three things as I have written. A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20 and C is equal to 30. These three different variables we have declared here, fine. Now I am writing void of M1 method, and hope you understand this method whatever as I am writing is the instance method. So well I will write here, that is just for the identification, M1 in class called as hello I am writing. This is one I have written here. And at the same time now, I'll write here void of M2 method also I am trying to write. Here M2 method I have written inside this. This is the M2 method. Well, I have something written. So M2 in which class now? Class hello I am writing like that. And well, here I'll declare this one as a static one. I have declared this one as a static one. Guys, if you are understanding this particular topic, if you want to understand this methods in a proper manner, so here you see till end of the today's class, I'll make you clear about the complete method, how things are working and how it is going to be processed and all other sort of things, right? So in between you are getting any kind of questions, any doubts, you can please write it in the comment box if anything else is there, okay? Now let's understand in this something. What is that now? So do one thing first. Okay, first thing is the very basic thing, what I am trying to do, let's say I am writing some JTC 14, name of the program I have given into this. I have just given some name. And well, here I am writing like static void main. And inside this now string of arg I am writing here. And okay, let's now go for this, how it is going to work. So see, first thing is that I am trying to call hello of h1 is equal to new of hello, I am doing it here. So h1 dot I'll call here, what is that I am calling now? M1 method I am calling. What is that I am doing now? h1 dot M1 method as such I am doing here, I am calling it here, fine. And you see, just have a look here, I am just saving this. And after doing all these things, I'll write JTC14 dot Java I am writing, and as again I have saved it here, fine. So well, here I have written into this, and now as again I am doing all that, okay, well. So see, this is an instance method, and this instance method can be called only with the reference variable which contains that corresponding class object reference, and that too outside the class I am talking about. That particular one, when I am saying is the outside the class we are looking at this. Well, here I have done these all things. So when I have done all these things here, so I am trying to first compile it now. Here see, have a look. Guys, you just have a look that we are all doing all these things in a complete programming approach. Here I have written something. So inside this case, I am writing JTC 14, I am trying to compile. JTC 14 dot compilation I am doing. Guys, keep on liking the videos also at least, है ना? At least आप लोग थोड़ा like कर दिया करो. See, I have compiled this program now, है ना? And whenever I have compiled this program, now we are coming, so there is no error into this program, there is no problem in this program. What next as I am going to do is, I'll try to run it now. So I am running it. Here we have got the output, which is, what kind of output did we got? The output what we have got is M1 in hello, simple one. Here you need to understand one simple thing, whether that whatever the methods we are calling, whether we are able to call this particular method or not, whether we are able to complete its processing or not. That is one important thing which you should understand. Fine. So we are able to call this method, we are able to do something like that, and that's what I have done here in this. Done? Okay. Now with this itself, another thing I am doing here. See here, h1.m2 method also I am calling, and m2 is an static method, and that method I am calling by what name? We are calling that m2 method. I am calling this m2 method with the name of with the reference variable in which you have created the object and you have well stored inside this. So that's how you are doing it. That is how you are processing all this sort of things inside this. Okay. So okay, let me now do it here. So once I am saving it, and now as again I am trying to compile it. Compilation is done, and here I am doing it. M1 in hello as well as M2 in hello. These two things we are getting it again in the proper manner. There is no problem at all. We have done it, we have got it, this corresponding output we have got it. Fine it is now. Here now in this case first, I'll do one more thing here. What is that I'm going to do now? See, I'm trying to call, what I'm trying to call now? Let's say I'm writing hello dot m1 method I'm calling. I'm calling here hello dot m1 method I'm going to call, which is the hello dot m1 method I'm going to call it inside this. So with the name of class I'm calling the m1 method, which is an instance method. M1 is what? Now it is an instance method. So I'm trying to call this method. So here, well, understand it here in this. See what it is giving. Error. Did you notice this error? Have a look on this error. The error, which is a non-static method M1 cannot be referenced from a static context. We are getting error something in this way. In this particular form we are getting this error. Fine. So the error is non-static method M1 cannot be referenced from the static context. This is the particular error what we have got it in this. Is it fine now? Well, now we are coming into the another way, we are coming into the another form, and that is the another form what we are trying to do. Okay, so the one thing we got clear here, that we cannot call, what we cannot call? A instance method with the class name. We cannot call the instance method with the class name. Whereas now when I am trying to check it the another way, so let's write here the hello dot m2 something I am writing here. Hello dot m2 I have written in this case is fine. So hello dot, when I am writing here the m2 in this one, so I am compiling it, and after writing the compilation process JTC14 I am doing it here. So this is again one more output you are getting, and the output processing is what now? The output something what we are getting is the m2 in hello, you are getting this output. Okay, so m2 in hello. So from here you got clear that a static method of a class can be called without creation of an object also, whereas that is the name of the class, but by the same name, with the name of class itself, we cannot call the instance method. तुम सब लोगों को समझ में आ रहा है ना या नहीं आ रहा है? At least reply तो करते जाओ सब लोग. बताओ, are you getting clear idea or not? जो चीजें बताई जा रही हैं, समझाई जा रही हैं, आपको as it is समझ में आ रहा है ना सब कुछ? नहीं आ रहा? Fine, no issues. Hope you would have got these points whatever as such I am explaining here. Well, in another case I am doing few more things here, guys. What is that few more things I am talking about? Let's do one more thing. Hello of h2 is equal to, I am writing null, and then I am writing h2 dot, which is that m1 I am writing here. h2 dot, well, I am writing m1. And when I am writing here h2 dot m1 method, so with the name of reference variable which contains null, we are trying to call m1 method, which is an instance method. What is this now? It is a kind of instance method. So, well, when I am calling this instance method, so let's have a look. JTC14 I am writing, and what we have got here, you can see that. That is the null pointer exceptions we are getting into this, and something like that we have got it here. Fine. Okay. Null pointer exception when we are getting, which means that corresponding requested resource is not available inside this. So let me comment in this. Fine. I have commented this line. I have done something in this way. Fine. Okay. Now what else I'll be doing? h2 dot, I'll write, what is that now? m2 I am going to write here. h2 dot m2 I am going to write it inside this. Well, now when I am writing h2 dot m2 method, I am something trying to do here. So JTC14 I am writing, and we got here something. Fine. We have got it here, h2 dot m2 I am able to call here. We are able to call it inside these cases, right? So I hope so that you are clear with the how we are calling the static methods of a class. Is that you are clear or not? Any reply, any questions you are getting? No questions. Well, now in the same manner, in the same form, in the same way, we could do some more things also. And let's understand that particular processing also, what I am trying to say you. What is that processing? Next one, what I am saying here is that, say for example, if I am trying to write something, what is that I am trying to write now? I'll write here, say, have a look. Inside this already the same concepts we have seen in the case of blocks also. The same concepts what we have discussed in the case of blocks also we have seen it here. So, well, I am writing here system.out.println. In this case, A I will write, out.println. I will write here, that is the B. So, see, inside the instance method, we are accessing here, well, I am writing, that is the AB, something called as the C I have written. So, this is the following things which I have written inside this, and that is what we are doing it here. Okay. Now, the same thing what I will do is I will copy it inside the static context also. I am just writing these all things inside the static context. Where I am writing all these things now? Inside the static concepts, static context, I have written all this sort of things. Now, let's understand that as again I am talking about the static context. Here in this one, I am writing few more things here. What is that few more things I am trying to write now? Say here. This AB, these two are the instance members of a class. These two are the instance member of a class. So, these two things we cannot access directly inside the static context. We cannot access these two things inside the static context itself directly. Right? We cannot write it. So, let me compile once again. Here I am compiling it, and after compilation, a non-static variable A cannot be reference per. Are you able to see these two outputs or two error messages? The two error messages what you are getting here, again it is a different kind of concept here. What is the different kinds of concept we are talking about here? क्या बात कर रहे हैं? So see, in A and B, the one what you have written A as well as the B, static one. So inside the static method, we will not be able to access these two instance methods directly. And hope you are getting it. Hope you are understanding the things what I am explaining here to you. So now let me just compile it and again show it to you. Okay. So this is the problem. What I will do now, let me comment this two things we cannot call here directly. So say here, now you just understand it here and now you have got the output. Okay. Now any questions you are getting from this calling of instance method, static member and all other sort of things, you can please ask any questions related to this, related to all these sort of things. Any questions, any doubts you are getting, you are most welcome, you can ask. In this now, the very basic concepts related to the what we have shown you, that is the methods, that what is the methods, what is the instance methods inside the static method, what all things are allowed inside this instance static method, what all different types of members are allowed, that all things we have just gone through in these all cases here. Is it okay? Now if you have any questions, you have any kind of doubt in the previous examples, that again you can ask in this. Fine. Okay, one thing here repeatedly as I am saying, what is that now? See, in this itself I'll do few more things here. What is that few more things as I am trying to do? Here I am writing few things into this. Few things what I'll try to write here is, and even I am trying to write here is, see what is that? A class, that is the hello class I have written inside this now. Int A 10, int B 20 I have written, fine. Int A is equal to 10, int B is equal to 20, well I am writing into this, fine. And here one more static int of C is equal to 30 I am writing here. See that first. It is an instance method. So in the instance method we can access instance and static member of a class. How we can access? Directly we can access. We can access it here, means these all these different member of a class can be allowed here. We can write it here. There is no problem at all in these cases. Fine now. Now here again, in this one itself we are getting one another type of doubt here. What is that now? That here why we cannot see, if I will write SOP of A, we cannot access it. SOP of B, we cannot access it. And SOP of C, we can access it here because it is a static member of a class. We cannot access these two. Here we cannot access it directly. Can you tell me why we cannot access these instance members of a class, whatever the instance members we have? Suppose there the A as well as the B, we have these two instance members of a class. So why we cannot access these two members inside the static context directly? Can you please reply in the comment box, in the chat box? Yes. Anyone is there? Guys, you should reply at least. You should give some reply also. Hope so all of you are there. Say hi once if you are there. Nobody is there. देख तो काफी सारे लोग रहे हो. चलो. Okay, now in this cases itself, why we are not able to access? Because a very simple thing is there. See, understand it here. Why we are not able to access it? Why we are not able to do this? I am accessing this. How I am accessing now? Hello dot. What is that I am trying to do now? M2 I am calling here with the name of class, or we can call here h1 is equal to null, and by calling this one, again I am writing here h1 dot, which one now? M2 I can call here, correct? So these all are the two different techniques by using which we can call this method, static method. Now, if I'll ask you one question, guys, that whenever you are calling either in this way or in any other way, in any other form, then what is the basic thing which is going to be done? What will happen in that case? If you are calling this, if you are calling that method, if you are doing anything, what is going to happen exactly? Whenever you will call in any ways, in any form, any static member of a class, in any ways, you are calling, what you are calling, any static member of a class you are calling. So it will check first whether that corresponding class called as the hello class has been loaded into the main memory or not. Are you getting my point? It will check whether that corresponding class has been loaded into this main memory or not. Now, if that class has been loaded into the main memory, if that class which is there has been loaded into the main memory, are you getting it? If that class which is there has been loaded into the main memory. So, okay, while loading the class, what it is going to do? While loading the class, first it is going to allocate memory for the static variable of a class. For this only it is going to allocate the memory first. And what is that first memory which it is going to allocate? A as well as the B. So which is A and B, what we have is the instance member of a class we are having. Fine. These two are the what now? Instance member of a class we are having. Fine. So for these two instance, static variable, whenever your class is being loaded, first for that static member, memory will be allocated. First for this static member, memory will be allocated, right? And after that, this method is going to be processed because you have called it. So when this method is being processed, which method? M2 method is being processed. At the same time, whenever this method is being processed, at this particular point of time, variable for A and B memory yet has not been allocated, and that's the reason we cannot access it inside the any of the static context here. Are you getting it? So that's the reason instance member of a class cannot be accessed inside the static context. And that is true directly, I am saying. Yes, some other way we can access it, that I will tell you. Guys, all of you are there. They are designed with the aim to be shared among all the objects created for the same. Yes, you are true. Medha, you are true, 100% you are right, and it is for the same thing, it is in the same way it has been designed in that case, right guys? So any questions from these classes? Any doubts? Any doubts, any questions? If you are getting any questions, any doubts, you can please ask. If you have any sort of questions, any doubts, you can please ask. Okay. So thanks for today, and because many of you are not aware for this timing of the classes, so very less members are there today. So tomorrow onwards again we will meet on the same time, which is 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock inform to your all friends. Thank you guys. Good night.